Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Woo! Thank you. Michael, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks very much,
Great
Chris.
to have you, Michael. I want to say you're such a brave man, reading your story, go through everything you went through. It is not easy, but most important thing, you're alive today is what matters. Before we talk about what happens after that, let's talk about photography, wildlife. How did you get started?
Well, I didn't start as a wildlife photographer.
Very good.
For over 30 years, I was a wedding and portrait photographer.
Very good.
And on the 14th of November 2014, we're shooting a wedding in Drogheda. Now, being the pro that I am, I finished the job first, okay?
Okay.
And then had a massive heart attack. Spent the next 5 weeks in a coma. And they gave me a 1% chance of survival.
Wow.
How's that sound, folks? Yeah, I thought they might be impressed with that.
No, they're very impressed.
But that's,
they want to get more of the story,
that's exactly what happened.
Strong enough,
So, having spent 5 weeks in a coma with such a small chance, in actual fact, one doctor looked me in the eye, literally straight in the eye, and said, "Michael, do you realise you actually, literally died 3 times?" Now, when a doctor says something like that to you, it sort of gives you a different outlook on life. So anyway, I started this bucket list. I came out of hospital on Christmas Day. That was the longest morning of my life. I thought I'd never leave that hospital. It was the worst day of the whole lot, just waiting for my son to come and pick me up. But anyway, I went home and I started this bucket list. And basically, having been interested in wildlife all my life, but for the previous sort of 20 years, having been a photographer of wildlife here in Ireland, not abroad, but here in Ireland, I decided that top of my bucket list was a wildlife photographic safari to the Masai Mara. I've always wanted to go to the Masai Mara. So they sort of said to me, yeah, well, give it 2 years and start planning, and then you can go the following year. And I stopped and I said, hang on, guys, hang on. You told me I died 3 times. You put me asleep for 5 weeks, and now you want me to wait 3 more years before I do this? No chance. So I started rehab in the hospital, continued it at home, which I still do to today. Even this morning I was exercising. But
wow.
I got back to reasonably good shape. Not perfect health, because I'll never have perfect health again. But I got back into reasonably good physical shape. And I spent the next 11 months planning a safari to the Masai Mara. And believe it or not, 11 months later, I was there. Wow. I did it all myself. I did all the planning, arranged the flights, everything. And I went alone. I had one scary moment that I'll never forget. My wife, Christine, dropped me out to the airport. And if you know Terminal 1 in Dublin Airport, as the car drives away, it's a very short distance before it disappears down the hill. And I'm looking at the car, waving, big smile on my face, really looking forward to going away. And I picked my bag up off the ground and I looked straight at the door and said, holy what have I done? Because what you've got to remember here is I lost months of memory. Literally, the previous 4 or 5 months don't exist for me anymore. And I have a permanent small piece of brain damage, which affects, luckily for me, it affects brain only, or memory only. It's not a serious brain damage. But I looked at this door and I said, am I crazy? What am I doing? What if I forget where I'm going, where I should be? If I lose a passport, a boarding pass? And that was the only doubt that I have. That was a scary moment.
Was there anyone there with you when that happened?
No, just me. It only lasted 20 seconds. But it was the one moment of doubt that I had in the whole trip. So, I said, I'm here, I gotta go, so off I went.
Let me bring you back a little bit on your story regarding when the doctor said to you that you died 3 times. What was going through your mind at that time? Were you sharing this with family? Were you just on your own?
No, I was on my own. Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been in January when I went back for the second. I visit hospitals quite regularly. I was even there yesterday. And I had the first 2 of the regular visits in January.
Okay.
First one was with the consultant, and funny enough, if we have time, I'll tell you a
Yeah,
story.
sure, we'll run through that.
He's connected with the wildlife as well. But the second one was with one of his assistants, not with himself.
Okay.
And he's the guy who looked me in the eye and said, Michael, you do realise, don't you? And it gives you a different perspective. And I got to say, I wake up every day appreciating the fact that I'm still here.
Wow, come on, amazing.
Sorry, folks, I got to...
That's the beauty. I just like that last statement, what you said, that you appreciate the fact that you're alive every day. And that's what we need to be thanking God for. Every single moment that we see the light of each day, we should be so much grateful. That brings me to this wonderful book you have, From Sunrise to Sunset. Why did you call it that name?
Simple, very simple. When I went to the Masai Mara, it's strange actually. The way I travelled, I tried to keep everything as cheap as possible because this was an expensive trip.
Of course, definitely.
And
the book can tell.
At this stage, I just couldn't afford the trip. But I said to my family, can I afford not to go? Don't do this now. It'll probably never happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, the whole idea was to take as many pictures as I could and bring home as many memories as I could. So I was shooting pictures literally from first light in the morning till the last light in the evening. Therefore, the title had to be From Sunrise to Sunset. And the sunsets in Kenya are just amazing. I mean, if you look at the cover picture, or even the two on the back.
Yeah, I was going to ask you things about when you were in Africa, Kenya, what's like for you, the people, the environment?
Well, the people, the Maasai people, they're just the most amazing, friendly people I have ever met in my life. I mean, we Irish have a reputation for being friendly.
Of course, we know that.
We're nothing compared to the Maasai.
Wow.
They are amazing people.
Amazing people, right?
I've never come across anybody like them.
Yeah. So back to your health now. What stage are you at this stage now? Are you 100% okay? Well, we're not always 100% bodies.
I believe the heart is somewhere around 42%.
Okay.
But I feel exactly as I did before it happened. I play golf, for instance.
Okay.
That's my other passion.
Yeah, very good. I'll come play golf someday with you as well. Maybe we'll do something.
What are you playing off?
Oh, well, don't worry. We'll talk about
I don't want to be wiped away, like, you know.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. I'm really messing. Anyway, come back to your book. So this book you have here, it has a lot of wildlife, animals, a lot of shoots. How do you progress from one stage to another in
the actual shooting of the pictures, all of those pictures, I think there's 144 pages in the book. I think there are 151 pictures, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
You can check that, folks. Don't trust me. But the thing about it is, the one thing I had, the most important thing I had, wasn't the cameras, or the memory cards, or the long lenses. It was the guide. I had a Maasai guide driver. Stroke driver, okay. Petro and Aurora.
Right.
And he was the most amazing guide. Luckily for me, he knew quite a bit about photography as well.
Okay.
So if I gave him an instruction and said, Petro, I want to be in that position to take that picture, he knew exactly what I was trying to achieve. And he drove the Jeep into position to get me those pictures. So he's sort of half responsible.
It's a lot of work doing those wildlife shots, isn't it?
Absolutely, and a lot of patience.
It is not really easy, especially the danger between yourself and some kind of animals and,
No danger.
Okay.
If you stay in your Jeep, which is your hide basically, okay?
Right, okay.
Or what the Americans call a blind.
Okay.
It's just basically a tent.
Yeah.
But this is a tent on wheels. It was a Toyota Land Cruiser.
You can just walk from there.
Once you're inside your vehicle, you're not in danger. The animals are not interested in you. The only ones who came really close to the Jeep were the cheetahs. And believe me, they come right up to the door, In actual fact, folks, if you look at YouTube, you will see a lot of videos where stupid people on safari allow cheetahs into their Jeeps.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Okay.
I say the same thing about Phoenix Park. The deer in the Phoenix Park, they're wild animals. Okay, they're approachable. I know they are. I've seen kids feed them, but it's wrong. They are wild animals. Someday, one of them can turn on a child, or an adult for that matter, and attack.
They won.
You never know.
They won. Even though they are nice, but you never can tell. Michael, before we wrap things up, what are you doing for the moment?
Can I mention one thing before we do wrap up,
yes,
Chris?
Yeah.
While I was there, I don't normally shoot video, right? But I witnessed the great migration of wildebeest crossing the Mara River.
Yes, I saw that as well.
I shot one piece of video that's 2 minutes and 4 seconds long that has now had 5.4 million views on YouTube.
I saw that on YouTube. That was amazing.
So I want you all to go home.
On YouTube. That was amazing.
So I want you all to go home and look at it.
Michael, look, we don't have more time, but I want to say thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I know there's so much about your story, even though I read more on the Independent as well, they carried out as well. Your story is very touchy. It's not really easy when you have a second chance to actually leave and be able to utilize it like this. It is amazing. It's a pleasure to have you. Give it up one more time for Michael Finney, everybody.
Thank you.
Michael, so this book, where can people get it from?
At the moment, it's only available in 6 shops because that's another story I won't bore you with. It's available on only 6 shops in Dublin or directly from my website.
Right.
michaelfinnwildlife.com.
Okay, so please go out there and get this book. It's wonderful, it's very, very interesting. There's so much in there that you can really enjoy. So everyone in the audience, try and make sure you get it. I could have asked Michael to bring one for you guys, but don't worry. Next time you come, I should get one for you. Come on, give it up one more time for Michael Finney, everybody. Thank you. And also to my children there, give it up to Amanda, everybody. Thank you. And also to Justina, everybody. Thank you so much. Make some noise, everyone in the studio. Woo! Thank you. All right, this is what we're going to wrap things up. Viewers at home, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, it's Zero Question. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and also on Instagram. To come your way next time. Don't forget, it's Zero Question. Take care and God bless. Bye for now. Thank you, everybody. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for watching the Jero Quest Show. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and also on Instagram. For more behind the scene, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you for watching. See you soon. Thank you.